Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Humna and I create video content which connects to the creator, creativity and his creation. I believe art has a way of healing us from our core and connecting us to our subconscious mind and allowing us to reprogram everything that we have in our head that stops us from becoming the best versions of who we really need to be. And through these podcasts, which I called Mera Ishq Meri, ibadat, I want to start doing them inspired by the names of Allah. And these are going to be reflections of what I feel towards a certain name through my session, which we do zikr connected to the name of Allah and create an artwork that represents that name, so that we not only understand it at the level of our brain, we also understand it at the level of our heart. So we can get clarity as to how we can bring this name into our daily lives, connect to it, and have images which hold us, connect us to the deeper meaning of our own existence. So with that thought in mind, I really hope you enjoy this session. This one is inspired by Ya Baqi. It is the 96th name, and I'll read the meaning of what Ya Baqi means. That what is permanent, everlasting, eternal, ever surviving, the one who has always existed, the one whose existence has neither beginning nor end. When reading through the text about this book, I was guided to a sentence which said, dissolving the false self and realizing the true self. That is what Ya Baqi helps us do. It helps us to dissolve that what we thought we were. And based on that, I'm going to narrate what I've written here. When that what we thought we were gets dissolved, in common terms, it's called the ego death. So imagine you grew up being told you are too sensitive by those around you. And because you love those people, their opinion of you mattered to you at that time. So when they called you sensitive, you took it on as a definition of who you are. Now, there could be two sides to the story, to how you might interpret this word. It could go as negative or as a positive, which depends on how it was said to you and when. In what context was it said to you by the one you looked up to. Let's call this person who you're looking up to, who's calling you sensitive, guardian. So the person you call guardian, who you love, calls you sensitive. And because you love this guardian, you believe what they're saying and take on their opinion and wear it like a label on yourself and start identifying yourself with that label. I am sensitive, I am sensitive, I am sensitive. And that's what you start telling yourself. Now, if the guardian said you were sensitive in a way that you were gentle with the animals or playful and considerate with the children or polite and nurturing towards your elders and, you comforting for your friends, if that was the context you were being called sensitive for, then that quality of being sensitive would make you feel positive towards it, right? And you'd be okay, rather than you would be actually taking sensitivity as a positive trait in yourself. And you would start, treating it like something that is actually very special in you. And you'll allow it to grow. You'll embrace it. You'll kind of go around saying, I'm very sensitive because I feel so and so. You kind of acknowledge it and you truly value it in you, because the person who you looked up to, who you loved, your guardian, said this to you in a positive way. So you go around, you become very proud of being sensitive and be expressive about it in your actions and in your words. You look at it as kind of like a good thing in you that you are sensitive. Now, if the guardian called you sensitive at a point where it came across to you as you were, crying, or you could be complaining or just expressing your need to be heard, and the guardian calls you sensitive. Being called sensitive when you are in a negative vibration, like if you were too sensitive to someone's bad behavior, or when being bullied, or when you get told off, and when you express that pain, the turbulence in your being gets labeled as sensitive. So you start connecting that you don't want to be sensitive, right? Because as a human being, no one truly wants to be a negative source of energy. No one wants to be complaining or anything of that sort all the time. So, what you start doing is you start looking at being sensitive in a way that you don't want to be that. For you don't want to be called something that is ugly, or something that is not good, or something that is negative, or just something that people don't want to be around or engage with, because you're kind of too sensitive. Now the truth is, you start avoiding it, you start running from it, faking it, and you start suppressing it, and in all you start hiding from it. You don't want to be sensitive because it made you feel that nobody would want to be around somebody like you because you are sensitive. Now, there are two sides of this. One was positive and one was negative. Most times we go towards a journey in life as a soul evolving. We go through this experience where because of the society, we look at being sensitive as a negative trait. So you start wearing a mask of not being sensitive when you are actually extremely sensitive within your being. This mask then becomes your identity. So you start walking around wearing this mask, which is like, I'm not sensitive, I'm not sensitive, I'm not sensitive. Whereas actually within you, you really, really are sensitive. This mask starts becoming your identity over the years. And of course, your guardian, who actually says that you're too sensitive, says it in a way so that you aren't that sensitive, and you kind of strengthen up and you don't become too cryy or whatever it is that you do, which makes you feel negative emotions or vibration. The guardian, of course, feels very happy because, for it, no more needs to deal with your sensitivity, because you're not sensitive anymore, right? Because you chose to wear a mask saying, I'm not sensitive, to please this guardian, which means you hid behind that what you were not. And you chose someone outside of you, thinking you are actually choosing positivity over negativity. You chose to be who would abandon that what you truly are within yourself. This then becomes a habit. And you do it over and over and over again and start wearing different masks for different guardians to please. You keep abandoning and rejecting that what you are born with to supposedly, to supposedly prove to yourself and to your guardian that you are choosing the positive way of life. Now, the thing is that you are within you, in your soul, that sensitive was not so you could please your guardian. That what you are in your soul was not so that you could please your guardian or anyone else, not even yourself. You were created for a certain purpose by your creator, and for that purpose you needed to be sensitive. That what you start becoming not, right? So the creator doesn't make mistakes. It made you sensitive for a particular reason, because the reason was that your purpose that you were created for needs you to be sensitive. But because of the guardian and the pleasure and pleasing of the guardian, you chose to ditch your own behavior, your own sensitivity, and start becoming not sensitive. Now, you see, like I said, the Creator makes no mistakes. He put in you a trait that He chose for you, right? Because everybody is created unique. So, in you, He put that trait that He decided that He wants to put in you. You chose to abandon it and reject it to please your guardian. Now, when you reach a certain age and understanding, you yourself become that guardian of yours, right? You don't go around saying, my mom said that, my dad said that. After a certain age, with experience and understanding, you become your own guardian. I know what to do. I am capable of doing this. That kind of feeling. So you become your own guardian. What happens is your guardian now is your ego. Your ego says, you have a degree of medicine, you've spent 5 years and your parents have put in so and so money in it, and so you've become a doctor and you're going to stay a doctor for the rest of your life, make money and serve humanity. That's pretty much what the ego wants you to do. Stay dependent on comfort, right? Because ego is dependent on the knowledge you have gained from the outside world. It gets very disturbed when your inner knowledge wisdom comes up. So ego will tell you, you've done this for this many years, you owe it to your parents to stay a doctor because that's what you signed up for, and you're making enough money, you're staying stable, buy a house, buy this, guy, keep increasing, because your ego is completely dependent on the knowledge that you have gained from this world, right? So it makes it feel stable. So you listen to your guardian, which by the way now is your ego. You please yourself, your ego, and your worldly desires, and keep doing a job that pays for your survival. But within you, your soul is dying. It feels suffocated, lost, and you know what? In deep, excruciating pain. But you can't speak about it because your ego won't let you speak. It won't let you be vulnerable. It won't let you open yourself up to different avenues where you can actually learn to heal yourself or to get to know your soul. But what it does is it just wants you to use your brain, keep doing what you need to in the world that is around you, to fit in, to be like everybody else, and ignore the pain that you are feeling inside of you, because just get over it, because that's how people teach us in society to be. You help choosing your guardian and notice, it says you keep choosing your guardian and notice this time there is no one else to please, but it's you and you alone. So you become your own God. You become bigger than that who your soul is, or that soul, that gift that you have within you. You ignore it to a limit where your ego becomes the God. And that's where Ya Baqi helps us to understand how we can shift from that to being in balance of what the Creator wants us to be. Now, who do you really think is going to win between you and the God who created you? It's pretty simple, right? You keep choosing your guardian, which is your ego, and notice that there is no one there to please. It's now only you and you alone. What will happen now is, who do you think will win between you and the God who created you? He wrote your story years before you came into this world. For you to be a sensitive soul was written years before your existence. That part that you take or label as positive or negative rather is a part of your soul. It's not a part of your physical being. It is a part of your soul. And the soul belongs to your creator who created that soul. So when God only creates with purpose, which is that's what our faith is, and when God knows it's time for you to be of service to Him, for it's the time closer to returning back to Him, He needs you to be purified. He needs you to be cleansed with a heart that is worth being in the presence of its creator. Because you see, He is Rahman and He is Rahim. And it is out of His love He created your soul a certain way and your body to be a certain way, so that your soul could be in worship of Him and your body could be in worship of Him. But you started worshipping and pleasing your ego. And so, for that, when you abandon a part of yourself and hide behind a mask, you are rejecting the part of your soul that He chose to give you, that He created. What do you think you are doing? You are rejecting your soul's part. Your soul's part is you rejecting His creation. When you reject the part of your soul which says, I am sensitive, and you're saying, no, I'm not sensitive, you are rejecting a part of your soul, which means you are rejecting the creation of your creator, the creation that is your soul. And you see, the soul has a specific purpose, and it was created for a specific purpose which needed you to be sensitive. What do you feel? What do you feel your creator is going to do now? To get you back on track, what do you think He would do? For you see, you are a slave to you now. So to remind you who your true guardian is, what do you think He's going to do? It's really simple, isn't it? He will remove all your guardians. In your material world, which is your physical world, in your emotional world, and in your mental world. He'll give you a good scrub in your material physical world. He'll give you a cleansing experience in your emotional world. What all have you been thinking? And in your mental world, in emotional world, meaning what have you been feeling? And in your mental world, what have you been thinking? So everything that became your guardian, that you were there to please, which is your ego, will be removed, because it's time for you to be of service to the one you belong to the real guardian. And because you had forgotten who your real guardian is, of course, the real guardian needs to make you do the job that you were created for. So He is going to show you who is the real guardian. And for that, He will clean you up, because now it's time for you to do the job that you are here to do. He will remove all the guardians, which means people you love and you were attached to. Your career that brought you financial stability, He'll shake it all up. The ego that you held on to all as a favor to you, He will remove it all for you, so you could be purified enough of your guardians, lose your attachments of this dunya, and stop getting distracted by their voices. Because the guardians take over your mind, your body, your emotions, and your mental space, you cannot connect to the real guardian, because all these guardians are, you're feeding yourself with what the ego wants you to do, and you start pleasing them, and you forget who you were really truly meant to please, through your emotions, through your thinking, through your actions, through your the work that you do. Like, all of this needs to be pleasing to your creator, the real guardian, and you got sidetracked because you got attached to pleasing your own self. He will clean you up of all the gunk you have been carrying. So you will feel death before death at all levels, like spiritually, mentally, physically, financially. Everything will crash down, and pain, like you will feel this pain which you have never felt before. You see, that pain is so excruciating, and that is when your soul goes through the dark night of the soul. And there are nights and nights and months and years that one needs to go through to be cleansed purely for the reason so that you could do that what you were created to do. You will lose a job when you lose a loved one, when when you lose a job, when you lose a loved one, when you lose your home. Nothing compares to the pain of losing your soul, that part that you were abandoning. That false, like that part of you, that the fake person that you had created, your ego had created, that false identity. When that dies, oh my God, of that, the false identity of who you were and who you thought you were and what it is that you had to like do here, all of that, when all of that crashes down, because you were so attached to it, right, to yourself, to your own mask, you feel this pain in your being which is soul crushing, because your real self no more is going to let you do, be in pleasure or pleasing your ego. No more. It won't let you. So when God rips it open, your heart splits up. And that's where Rumi says, the light enters where the heart cracks. We think about it. When God rips it open, like he's literally breaking and unlayering your ego in all levels, mentally, physically, spiritually, every way, your heart splits open because it's so attached to that identity of who you were. You can literally feel what death feels like. Nights alone, days become empty. There's no sleep. No amount of food will satisfy you. You no more have any dreams or desires. You start wanting to be home. You start dreaming of being in a place where you can be yourself again, because you're not yourself. You've kind of become very vulnerable, very naked, very, everything's erupted and everything is a big question mark. So you still stay attached to yourself, and the desire to know yourself becomes all you knew of who you were. You weren't anymore. You see, you have this desire to know, why are you here? You start questioning yourself. You still stay attached to yourself, and the desire to know yourself, you still stay in that space. Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? That side of questions come. That's still ego, because all you knew of you are no more. You're no more that person that you were. And so you like, okay, then if I'm not that, then who am I? So you're still like in that phase of, still, who's my guardian? Who am I supposed to please? Who am I supposed to be with, right? And so God starts creating experiences in your life where you will lose friends, your friends will change, your family values will change, you will change location, your house will change, your dressing sense will change, you will completely start eating food that, you're like, oh my God, I didn't eat this before, but I'm going to eat this. You start speaking differently, you start feeling differently, it's your thoughts and your actions, and everything changes. And you're like, okay, it's definitely not me, but whatever, let's just keep flowing. Because now you don't have, you're slowly detaching from the idea of your identity of who you were. So you slowly start shifting. You start the journey of ending the pain, because you can't be of service to your God when you are in pain. So he chooses to unlayer you, one layer at a time, only that what you can handle. And slowly you let go of the idea of you being sensitive sensitive as a negative or a positive. The identity of being a doctor or not a doctor, being defined by anything, will actually start disturbing you. For now, you unlayered to a place and you only see your being as a vessel that is how it needs to be, with no judgments. For that is the vessel. You were created by your God to be used in a way that He pleases you. So He has you in His hand and He chooses to pour wherever it is that He wants to pour in you, so that that could be used to pour other people. He is Ya Baqi, the one who eternally remains, makes you experience death before death again and again, killing all your guardians on all the levels, so you can truly understand the one guardian who never ever dies. Your death is written by the one who never dies. That soul you have, which you chose to define as sensitive or not sensitive, belongs to Him. Him who never dies. He knows the soul just as He knows your body, your thoughts, your desires, and your needs. He was before you. He was before you were created, and He will remain after you are gone. He decides who He chooses for you to be. He decides who your guardian is and for how long. But when it is time, He will bring you to a mirror so you can see your true self that He wants and He needs you to be useful and purposeful for Him. And He starts shedding your skin to bring the real out of you. That real you is His. That is the only true reality of a soul. The true reality of a soul is that it belongs to Him, and to Him, InshaAllah, He will return. He knows how to take care of what belongs to Him. He knows when your job is done to return you to what and where He needs you to be. Your identity, your true identity, is that you are a slave of your Creator. You are the love of the one who is all loving. You are in the care of the guardian who knows all your needs. He is who is with you all the time. He is the one who is all hearing, all seeing, and all knowing. He is who knows which parts of you must die for Him to get you ready for the purpose that you were created for. Ya Baqi. He reminds us the death of all our guardians is the way our true guardian carves his path to come closer to us, to bring us closer to Him, as a favor on us to get us ready to meet Him in a state when He will be happy with us. Ya Baqi reminds us of the death as a blessing to bring us closer to the home we miss so much. Ya Baqi reminds us of who will always remain beyond time and space, who will always see us through in life and after any kind of death on this realm or in the other realms. Ya Baqi teaches us to be grateful to Him for removing all the guardians. The pain of their death can never compare to the joy and peace a soul feels to have found its true guardian, the one the soul will go home to. For to Him it belongs, and to Him, InshaAllah, it will return. I really hope that Ya Baqi settles in your heart, holds you, and reminds you that what is breaking apart in your life is because of Ya Baqi's favor on you, to remind you that you need to look at Ya Baqi as the one who will always remain, regardless of what remains in your life or not. That what leaves will leave only and only when it is the qadr of Allah. That what will come because it is the qadr of Allah. We have to be in submission to everything He does for us, for He is Ya Baqi, the one that has been before us, the one that will always be after us, the one who is with us in the now, in the present moment. He who loves us the most reminds us again and again to connect to Ya Baqi, so that we can always remember there is no death that will happen to us without the will of Allah. And the death that comes to us in whatever form and way, for our emotional self, for our mental health, for whatever the death comes, the unlayering, the shedding, the dying of a part of us or a life that we imagined ourselves to be living, that death could not happen if it wasn't the will of Ya Baqi. So if He is allowing a part of us dying, it is only and only so that the part of us that He wants to give life to needs to be alive, needs to be awakened, needs to be cherished, needs to be valued. So let that what is dying, what is leaving, leave you, so that that what needs to grow, needs to be purposeful, needs to be useful to the Creator, let that come to surface. I love you all. Take good care of yourselves. Let me know how this sits with you. If you have any insights, do share with me. If you feel like you'd like to join me, you can do that. Connect with me and create artwork based on the narration that I've just shared of Ya Baqi. I do them every Fridays and Mondays, Friday and Monday 11 a.m. UK time, and it is done through Zoom online, so you can tune in from anywhere from the planet. These sessions are extremely powerful as they help you build deeper understanding of who your Allah is, why you need to be connected to Him, and how healing it is to have His presence around us 24/7, and recognizing that we are here to serve Him and Him alone, inshallah ta'ala, through our life, through ourselves, through our being, and through all that we do. All my sessions are accessible on my Patreon. All the details are down below in the comment box and the description box. I would absolutely love to connect with you, hear from you, and be inspired together by our beautiful Allah. Sending you love, light, and peace, everyone. Enjoy yourselves, and inshallah, I'll see you in the next podcast. Bye for now.